Every time I tried to recomp my body, I would end up in one of two places, looking like an Irish sea lion or like I just finished up a meth cycle. And regardless of how hard I trained or how clean I ate, my body refused to change until one day I discovered what was actually missing, and that is energy. I'm not talking just about calories, I'm talking about real energy. The stuff your body uses at the cellular, the hormonal, the biological level for you to actually decide if it is going to build muscle or to lose fat. And once I learned how to generate this energy, my body took off. I ended up gaining 20 pounds of lean mass. I got leaner. I didn't take drugs. I didn't overtrain, and I didn't even track calories. And it was the easiest it's ever been to recomp my body. And today I'm going to give you the same 4-step method that I use and my clients use in order to make body recomp actually work. Before I get into the method, there are 3 foundational things that must be in place in order to make this happen. 1, you need to be strength training at a minimum of 3 times per week. 2, your calories must be 300 calories or less than maintenance or 300 calories above maintenance, depending on where you are starting at now. 3 is that you will need a minimum of 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight right now. Without those in place, none of this stuff will work. But if you are doing these and you are not noticing any changes and it is being very difficult to recomp, this is when you add in these ultimate details to generate energy. So what kills energy and puts you into that low energy state that makes recomp damn near impossible? First is poor insulin sensitivity. If your insulin sensitivity is shit, then no matter how much you eat, or regardless of what you eat, a lot of the stuff, the nutrients that you have is going to go more towards fat storage instead of muscle repair. This really comes down to the food that you're eating and overall the timing, and I'll get more into that in the 4-step method. The second thing is going to be chronic stress, and stress cortisol blocks all those signals for your body to say, hey, we need to build muscle and burn fat. Stress does the opposite. It says we need to store fat and burn our muscle off because we're in this catabolic state to where we are just destroying everything in our body to survive. The third thing is overtraining and overall poor recovery. If your central nervous system is not in balance and it is completely shot from overtraining and poor nutrition, no matter how much you do, you cannot recover and actually get those signals to actually come together and build new muscle tissue and to let go of fat. Those 3 things are all low energy states, and they kill body recomp even if you're doing all the main foundational stuff. And that is why your number 1 job is going to be to correct these issues in order to make the recomp actually work. So how do we move into that high energy state? The first step is going to be to eat for hormonal stability. This comes down to a few different things. 1 is going to be a high protein, high fat breakfast within 1 hour of waking. This blocks that cortisol response in the morning, allows you to be more stress-free throughout the day as your metabolism has been sort of awakened. And you're not going to have those times where you need to overeat due to blood sugar issues if you continue to fast and have that see and eat everything mode at the end of the day if you were fasting. The next part of this is to cut out the seed oils. I'm talking the canola, the grape seeds, the rape seeds. These oils are highly inflammatory and they impair mitochondrial function. That is like the cellular level of energy in your body. And if mitochondria are not high and optimized, you're going to have a terrible time trying to recomp your body. Next is the carb cycle. And this is where you're going to eat carbohydrates on days where you have a lot of activity and around your workouts. So personally, I will say that you want to have a majority of your carbohydrates, 60 to 70% around your workout. On days that you are resting or you're not having a lot of high intensity activity, lower your carbohydrates some more and increase fat a bit. That's going to help your body to optimize insulin sensitivity and nutrient partitioning for you to have better progress on your recomp. And adding on to that nutrient partitioning, we want to have a 10-minute walk after every meal, and if you can, to have fasted cardio in the morning. Doing all this stuff is going to keep your blood sugar stable, it's going to fuel your hormones, and allow your insulin sensitivity to become optimized. Step 2 is that we want to focus on high intensity, low volume training. And what this really looks like and why this is so powerful is that we're going to get the maximum amount of stimulus with the least amount of junk volume to actually grow and lean and muscular. Tactically, this looks like 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. And on those first 2 sets, you're going to stay about 2 reps away from failure. These are going to be normal working sets, okay? But on that last set, the 3rd and final one, go all the way to failure. You'll do that for about 4 to 5 compound movements with about 1 accessory in your workout. And I have an example of this down below in the description if you want to follow it. But doing this, you're going to get the maximum amount of stimulus and actually grow every single workout instead of doing a ton of trash junk volume because it just feels good to do. We don't really need all that pump in order to maximize our recomp. Step 3 is going to be to prioritize recovery. So with your sleep, I want you to focus on quality over quantity. And what this really comes down to is having a wind down routine at night. Everyone I've talked to, they don't have this in place, but when they add it, everything changes. So dictate your bedtime. Let's say it's 10 o'clock. About 9 o'clock, you want to start dimming all the lights out, don't really have anything overhead, and start to slow down. And when I say slow down, I mean reduce stimulation. You don't want to be out here watching a scary movie right before bed or scrolling through TikTok right before, as your brain's going to be very awake. We don't want that when we're going to bed. So take this time to reduce stimulation before bed, journal, listen to some music, read a fiction book, or meditate. That's going to allow you to optimize sleep quality over quantity, and that will give you better results in your recomp. And step 4 is to track energy as your main metric. We don't want to be tracking calories all the time. We don't want to be looking at the scale every day or how we look in the mirror, as these can give us a false reading sometimes of where we're actually making progress. And just think about this. If energy is increasing, that means your nutrition's in place, your sleep is well, and you're training very well. And if energy is low, you know that your diet's not right, you're training too much or too little, or you're not sleeping enough. So track energy. And every day I like to ask myself at the end of the day, where's my energy at on a scale of 1 to 10? And if you stay between that 7 to 10 range every day, you're doing pretty well. But as soon as you start to dip into those, below 5 and down into those 3 ranges, that's when you're really going to struggle. And that's what's going to make recomp extremely difficult to achieve. And recomp is seriously all about the details. Like, we don't need to grind harder for these things. You don't really need to go out here and train and do all these marathons to make a recomp happen. You want to focus on the stuff that's happening inside of your body, the actual energy of it. When you do that, it becomes more effortless. You have a better outcome as a result, and you'll feel as if you're making progress without even really trying harder. So do this for yourself. Take these steps and put them into place for at least 4 weeks, and I guarantee you that if you do this, you will completely change your body and your whole entire outlook on what it takes to be fit and healthy. If you guys need help with your food choices, I have the high energy diet model down below, which gives you a full grocery list, all the foods you need to eat, how much to eat, as well as how to apply this simply into your life. And if you found this video useful, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.